We are back for another episode of the Pivot Podcast. And again, I am joined with my amazing co-host, Mr. Dan Jansen. How are you, sir?
I am doing awesome. And we got Dan. He was in the live room. We just fished him on out of that live chat, just like that. But we have Dan, who's been with us in a short time as far as in the official rooms, joining with Real Life Trading. We wanted to do we wanted to find somebody that we could do kind of a full like mentorship group. We'll probably split this into 2 different episodes for you guys listening in segments. There'll be 2 parts and kind of how we edit that. But let's introduce yourself, Dan. Tell us a little about you, where you're from, your background, what got you excited about trading in the first place.
All right, you got it. Well, first of all, I am a lawyer. I've been practicing law for about 30 years. I'm also a university professor. I have been trading unsuccessfully since 1997 or so. Well, actually, I can't say that's true because I tripled my dad's money and then I told the broker to sell everything and take the profits and he didn't listen to me. So we lost it all. But anyway, I joined Free Week last week and Jeremy Newsom could not be more amazing and brilliant and kind. Free Week was literally the best thing that ever happened to me because I was able to meet all of you all and start trading successfully, frankly. I'm not sure if I gave you enough information about myself.
Yeah, 100%. What were you, I know you're attorney and stuff, but in regards to the trading world, what were you typically trading? What kind of style of trading? Did you have like a U-type play or setup or anything like that you would lean on?
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I listened to CNBC and Jim Cramer. I watched every episode of Mad Money and Fast Money and Options Action and listened to all the experts promote stocks. And just as soon as they promoted them and I bought them, they tanked.
Of course.
That's why Cramer has that 3-day rule, right? And then sometimes you have to extend that out to like 3-month, 3-year rule on occasion.
It's sad to say that somebody that's as bright as I am basically made all the mistakes like that.
Well, I mean, based on the education everybody's been getting from schools on the stock market, which is zero, it's not surprised. It's like learning anything new, right? So it's just kind of being persistent, stay with it. And it sounds like you've been around the market for quite some time. What is your appeal that keeps you? What do you find exciting about the market?
I think it's a great way to actually make a lot of money and earn a great income if you know what you're doing. I'll give you the perfect example. Today, I made money trading with Johnny Guarco on the NVIDIA play and would have made a lot more money if we had hung on, but we didn't expect it to go as high as it went. But, you know, the all of you people that are online, you know what you're doing. You know how to look at the charts and the candlesticks and you know what's going on. I made $200 last Friday with you, Dan Jansen, while I was in my car first thing in the morning. So
that's how we battle the gas price inflation.
Yeah, I drive a Tesla, so it's okay. I don't have to pay for gas.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. All right. So like we said during this segment, we'll try to just I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tracy, but if we could get an idea of your trading style, something that we would at least, obviously, I mean, it's very hard to go from correcting full strategies and things like that within an hour, but to the best of our ability, I think we'll go through just trying to understand the mentality behind trading and what type of trades you're taking. And even if we could tweak one thing that could help make you more profitable or consistently profitable for a long time, that would be our goal of anytime we do mentoring. First question that I have in regards to that would be, what is your reason for trading? What's the why for you?
Honestly speaking, I mean, I would love to trade full time, and I would love to be able to provide my children with outstanding college educations and put them through grad school, pay for weddings, allow my wife to retire. And one of my goals with my trading profits is to make donations to charity. So I've committed to making a 10% donation from every trade.
That's a great goal.
For charity. And I actually contributed to Jeremy's school last week.
That's excellent.
Based on the trade that I made with you, Dan.
Awesome. Love it.
Now, Dan, I'm just curious, what's your time frame on your wanting to be a full-time trader?
Ooh, I mean, a year would be fantastic, but I
Okay.
don't know if that's going to happen.
Okay. That's good. I mean, some people would say 3 months, 6 months are now. So it's an important question. And I think that it's something that everybody else should also ask themselves. It's a great goal. I want to be a full-time trader, but do you have it in perspective of how long that might take? So that's why I'm asking the question. No, that's perfect.
It could take a little longer, but a year would be great.
Now, when you joined the free week, you said all of a sudden you started to get some profitability. Now, I'm curious, other than following everybody's trades, has anything changed? Did you learn any particular concept that's been like an eye-opener for you?
Well, a lot of things have changed, to be honest with you. I actually watched the 10-hour seminar that Jeremy Newsom did on trader psychology.
Mm-hmm.
I also took the advice of Johnny Guarco, who told me read about candlesticks and read about gaps as were written by Jeremy Newsom. I've literally been on every single show that's been on and watched the traders explain the trades, put the charts up on the table. It's so much different than another company that I was with before, who basically would just send out alerts and tell you, here's the support, here's the resistance on Microsoft or Apple or whatever, but they don't tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you ask specifically, what should I do? They say, well, I can't tell you what option to buy because everyone's going to pound the same option and then it's going to inflate the price.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I've changed a lot. Where I used to buy 10 calls or puts on something, I'm limiting my trades now to 1 call or 1 put.
Okay. So what would you think is the biggest obstacle that you need to overcome right now to achieve your goal of becoming a full-time trader?
Well, the biggest obstacle I'd have to overcome would be being successful in the funded accounts and trying to make up for all the losses that I've had over the past year, as I've spoken to some of your hosts personally about.
Okay, so what would be the, I guess, what's the trading thing, the trading obstacle? What is it that's keeping you from making successful trades regularly and becoming profitable on your own?
Well, I mean, I need to walk away when I'm profitable for the day, I think, number one. I believe I had a tendency of over trading. I don't know.
Okay.
What else?
Let's tackle the overtrading part first. Okay. When you were getting into some trades, what is your belief around making money with the market? What is your underlying belief about that?
I kind of thought that every trade needed to be a huge win, as opposed to being happy with the small, consistent gains.
Okay.
Because as I've learned, $200 a day in gains is $50,000 a year.
Right.
If you trade a day.
Right.
So I just have to put things into perspective, I think. But I really need to learn. I honestly need to learn a lot more.
Okay.
I need to learn about TradingView, for example. I don't really know how to use TradingView. I did sign up for an Apex account. I really don't know how to use NinjaTrader or any of that other stuff. There's a lot of work I'm going to need to do.
Okay. Do you believe that you have to trade every single day to make money in the markets?
No, that's the other thing that I've learned.
Okay.
Basically, I've learned that you can have one good trade and just be done.
Okay. And what happens after you have a loss?
Well, unfortunately, I've revenge traded.
Okay.
And that has led to more losses.
Do you feel that the revenge trading has caused the majority of your overtrading?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. So what happens after you have a win? Are you able to walk away and close it down?
No. Yesterday, I was up by about $300 in my funded account, just trading futures. And I thought, hey, go back to it in the evening and see if you can make some more money. I ended up being down $700 because I guess I got greedy and I traded when I shouldn't be trading in the after hours.
Okay.
My question is, because you said you had losses before, with whether it's just trading on your own or trading with other companies or whatever the case. How much do you focus on and think about those losses prior to or as you're currently day trading now? How much of that kind of creeps into the psyche that of like how much is that meaningful to you, and are you still kind of holding on to that?
I definitely hold on to it because I feel like I need to make back those losses, but I know that the psychology part of it, as I've learned through real life trading, is that I shouldn't look at money as money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say.
I think that's where you're going with this, right, Dan?
Well, what I would say is
great name, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, money is a tool, an instrument, and the first question I asked is which or why, right? Having those goals in the forefront. What I find is a lot of people who lost money before in the market, even if it's one trade, right? And that's the revenge trade concept. You lose one trade and it's like, I have to make that money back. Or you lost last year or the prior 10 years, doesn't matter. The thought process is, I have to make that money back. And I think what ends up developing internally is this little thing in people's heads where they go, every trade I take, I know I'm down this much money and I have to get that back. My question to you is, why does it have to come back today?
Well, I would love for it to come back today so that I could be back to even, but it's not going to happen. I know that's not going to happen. And I've learned, frankly, through all of you, that the best case scenario is to learn how to minimize the losses. And actually, that's a big part of how I've lost so much money, because I never traded with stop losses in place. I would just buy a call or buy a put or buy stock and not have a plan in place of what my exit strategy was going to be, which is, and I'm not tooting real life trading's horn here, but the fact of the matter is, I love when I'm on with you all and you say, okay, this might be a good price to buy at, but I definitely think we need to have a stop loss in place. And our target is X or Y. Like, I never traded like that before.
Right.
I would just hear somebody on CNBC talk about, how Apple was such a great company, and I would buy it and it would go down. And the other problem, I could frankly tell you, I lost a ton of money in November on Apple because I watched it go down when I was in a ton of calls. And I thought, oh, well, I'm going to just throw more money into Apple right now and see if I could break even. And I was too clueless to realize that the momentum was against me and Apple was going down no matter what I did. It was not going to come back up. I watched it go from 148 to 142. Doesn't matter how many calls I buy. I at one point had 100 calls at the same time on Apple. It didn't help me. So basically, I need to learn how to, if I'm going to throw more money at a trade, it's got to be at the winning trades, not at the losing trades.
Yeah. And Dan, I want to ask you again, when you go back to a trade in the evening, say, so the example that you gave the other day, you were up $300 and then later on you went back and you checked to see if you could make some more money. Do you recognize that in your psychology, in your head, that there is a check and balance going on that Dan just mentioned of kind of an account balance of what your debt is, of how much you've lost in trading? And that is one of the driving forces that is causing you to go back and see if you can make more money instead of locking that in and waiting for the next opportunity the next day. Do you recognize that?
I do now.
Okay.
I didn't before, but yes.
Okay. So now the next question I have is, do you have a trading plan?
Funny you should ask that question, because the last company I was with, I asked them to help come up with a trading plan. And they refused. They pretty much like scoffed and laughed at the question. And then, so I've been wanting to create a trading plan for a long time with my own set of rules, but I have not actually done that, to be perfectly honest.
Okay. Well, when you get a chance, log into your dashboard, and somewhere on the RLT site, you will find a trading plan sample that you can start with, and then you can start adjusting and addressing some of the rules that you'd like to have in your plan. And I would highly recommend that before you continue trading live with anything, that you get the trading plan sorted out.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I have that trading plan right in front of me. I did print it out.
Okay, perfect. Excellent.
I haven't personalized it though, not yet.
Okay. And one of the rules that you should put into place is defining when you should be allowed to trade and when you shouldn't be allowed to trade, and then hold to that. And those should be times where you're dedicating to trading. And that'll keep you from being able to go back, open the computer, and look for those additional trades when that psychology starts to click in and that bank account is starting to check and go, oh, I can make some more and make a little bit more dent in that negative balance that's sitting inside of your head, right?
Right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Perfect.
Also with the trades and just kind of going hand in hand with the trading plan, do you have any type of journal currently that you write down the trades that you've taken or profits or losses or things like that?
I personally do not have a journal yet. I did print one out. I printed it out. I didn't start using it yet. It printed a little funky.
Well, Dan, it is your lucky day, because again, if you go onto the Real Life Trading website, we have a free journal on there, and it is on Google. So it is a spreadsheet.
Being an old dinosaur like I am,
it's
I'm not the best.
Super easy. It is on the web. You just input your date, you input your entry, your exit.
Oh.
And there's even room for you to put a picture, like a link to your chart.
On the web?
Yes. So it's right on the web. So if you it'll ask you to copy.
Okay.
So you copy it, and that'll save it for you under your own Google account. And then from there, and it'll tally up your daily totals and all that kind of stuff for you. So it's highly recommended. And one of the reasons that Dan is asking you to do that and make sure that you do that is it's really important for you to be able to go back and review your trades. Look at what you were doing wrong, look at what you were doing right. And then also, when you do that, you'll be able to revisit some of that and then see the progress that you've made over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So once, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, even into the aspect of, because Tracy mentioned before, like in your plan, there should be something of like when I can trade, when I can't trade, why, all that. If you're able to look back at the journal, like even just for the next week, from now till next week, journal all those trades, put the time that you took those trades as well, right? And obviously don't do the journal just for 1 week, but it will give you a start. And you can see, okay, I'm really profitable 9:30 Eastern when the market opens to 10:30. But after 10:30, all my trades get shaky and, I'm 50-50.
Yep.
You're
actually 100%.
Yeah. If you're not winning in certain time frames, all right, don't trade them, or we'll work on back trading and try to find out different setups that might not be great in the morning, but better in the afternoon or something like that. And it's easier to focus on just your winning trades. And now you have a plan that starts to fit you and resemble you as a trader, your personality, all that stuff as well.
You're 100% correct. I mean, I've got a couple of problems with my trading. Problem number one is I feel like I need to trade literally the minute the market opens. I do not have the patience to actually wait and watch the charts for a little bit and see how things are setting up. That is definitely problem number one. Problem number two, yes, you're correct. I told myself about a month ago that I wanted to stop trading at 11:30 Eastern time. Haven't followed through with that, but that's okay, because I don't know if that should be such a hard and fast rule, because the Johnny Guarco Nvidia trade today was much later than that. And that was a fantastic trade because he saw a double bottom. He identified it as a great entry point. And sure enough, it played out beautifully. I'll tell you the other problem I have, which I'm just now realizing. And I talked to Johnny about it last week. So I've always traded options. It seemed, well, I prefer to trade options over stock. But today I traded the stock for NVIDIA, and it was easy to watch the profit grow. Whereas if it was an option, I think it might have gone against me at some point, and I would have panicked and I would have taken the loss, as opposed to letting the gain ride as NVIDIA rode up. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I would say that what I think makes sense, I think what most people will find is that trading, especially if you're trying to figure out yourself as a trader, you're trying to figure out your style of trading, what really resonates to you, whether indicator wise or volume profiles or whatever the case. I think it's always better to start learning the plan with stocks as opposed to options, just because there's more that goes into options. You got to be right, but you got to be right quick. Yep. Right? You have certain expirations where the theta alone is going to start killing you. Even if you're right, you could still be wrong. Right. And then how you move stops on an option might be different than how you would move it with stocks. So I think it makes a lot of sense, especially for somebody that's just trying to put the plan together, repeat the process, become consistent with stocks. Do it with stocks because it gives you more time to think. It gives you more time to analyze the candles, really understand what you're looking for. And then after you get consistently profitable for a few months with that, then I start to incorporate options, and then you start to know which options have good volume as opposed to stocks, and where to take it, where to take pullbacks as opposed to breakouts and things like that. So it's a whole different ballgame for options. But I think the most successful option traders are probably really good day traders as well. They've got a good basis for the stocks.
Right. And you know what? You made me think of another point. So when I would start trading in the morning at 8 o'clock or 8:30 Central, I would think, okay, I got to be in at 8:30 because that stock's going to get in. It's going to go up. I've learned just from the very short time with real life trading about the Elliott wave and the S curve, and how the stock will go up, but then it will retrace and come back down and give you another up.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, and that's typically why that extra patience pays, right? So having that extra patience, because it's okay, and a lot of people probably don't realize this getting into the stock market or stock world. Number one, you're always going to miss trades. We've had trades even this week or last week. We'll set it up, and some traders some get filled, some get skipped, and we can't control anything outside of the realm of what we could control, right? It's either this is the price we want. If it skips us and we never get filled and we missed a great trade, so be it. The market's open for the rest of the day. It's open tomorrow. It's open the rest of the week, the rest of the year. There's always another opportunity in the market. It's our job only to identify where that opportunity is that fits with the plan, and then just follow the preconceived plan that we have. Even when it comes down to you have the rule, you didn't want to stop, you didn't want to trade after 11:30, but maybe it's not a hard rule. I would say in my plan, all the rules are hard rules. I have to follow those rules. That's my business plan. That being said, maybe your times might change, but the only real way for you to know that, I don't know where you got 11:30 is your cutoff time, but maybe your afternoon trades are actually better, more consistent than the morning trades, right? And maybe you're just trying to, the bell rings, the excitement's there, you're trying to get in. And if you look at the win to loss ratio, maybe the afternoon is a better time frame. And that's why it kind of goes back to the journaling of, well, what is the time? Why is that the time? And all that will play into decision making. But I've seen trades where I just can't take another trade because either I'm down 2 hours for the day, or I'm past the limit, or it's a different asset I'm not used to trading, part of my plan. And I see, I'm like, man, that's a great double bottom. That's a good hammer. That's a good high wave with like the normal stuff I would look for, but it doesn't fit the parameters, and I have to let it go. Because as much as you can win on it, you can lose too. And now it's like, well, you lost, and it didn't even fit your plan as to why you're taking it. And those will add up over time.
I agree. You're 100% correct. And I hope that someday I can get as good as you guys all are at identifying the good trades. Because look, you called it great trade last week on CVX. I don't know if you remember that one.
CVX. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Right after their, was it earnings? Oh, they bought back a whole bunch of shares, and earnings, I think,
I
came
mean,
out.
you've called out a lot of great trades.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway.
It takes time. I'll tell you guys that I'm going to say this in the nicest possible way that I can, but if you are a brand new trader or a new trader or a trader that's been trading for less than a year, maybe less than 2 years, traders are children. And that's the reality of it. Emotionally, they're children. And I'm talking new traders. So if you remember when you were a child, it was really hard. The impatience was sitting there. You just wanted to get in. You wanted to do whatever. You got excited. It took a while for you to get past that point, to develop that emotional control as you became an adult, that you could learn to wait. You could learn to wait. You could learn to wait to get that self-gratification. All of that came with time. Traders are no different than children. And that's something that you need to recognize. And right now in your trading journey, you're an infant. And you need to nourish and nurture and give that part of you an opportunity to grow. And as you grow, you will become better at spotting all of those things. But you have to get that emotional part in check first, because it will continue to battle with you through your entire journey. And you'll end up becoming that teenager that knows everything, but doesn't really know everything. And you just want to rebel and fight and just go against your plan, do this, do that. And we all know that doesn't serve us well. So it really comes down to getting your head right first. And I remember my real transition in my trading journey took a real turn for the best. It was the turning point. And it was when I started focusing more on here and less on the technicals, less on the trades. The rest of it all fell into place. But I had to get this right first. That starts with even a morning routine. Like, what do you do in the morning to even make sure that you're in the right frame of mind to trade? All of those types of things, right? So it's huge.
There are a lot of bad habits that need to be forgotten as well.
Yeah, we learn as traders a lot about the charts and about stocks, entries, level, support, resistance. But I think the market teaches us about ourselves more than we could ever want to know. All the nonsense BS that we think we are, when the real money's on the line and we're trading and we're like, okay, we're going to move stops because this is this. The question is, are we trading because of emotion? Are we trading because we're panicking because we're either profitable or down on a trade? Or are we in a trade because this is how we looked at the charts, we determined the information, and we're able to take a trade based off of that? I'd much rather lose on a trade I planned for than lose because I'm just trying to hop into trades. And let me ask you this, Dan. How long did it take you to become an attorney?
Well, 4 years of undergrad and then law school for 3 years.
Okay. So when you started law school, compared to what you know now, how well diverse were you in the law at that on day one of starting the journey?
I wasn't. I understand what you're saying. It took time to learn how to be a lawyer.
Yep. It's the same process, right? So and I would say you came from some other places that they might have actually did you a favor, Dan, actually, with just the sending in the alerts, because if they didn't teach you how to trade like a certain way, a certain style, you don't have to kind of debunk all of what nonsense some people might have come up with, and some of it might have been good, but you have the ability right now to start from day one and say, today is the first day of trading. What do I need to know today to get me through from 9 a.m. to 4? Right. And then grow from there. Try to develop. Okay, now I got the candles down. How do I use it? How does that work with the rest of the day? How does the stock work with the rest of the market? And you're just trying to build on it. And there's so much where Tracy could probably say as well. But for me, I learn something new every single day. There's always something that whether it's a technical, whether it's myself, something of like, man, I'm taking this trade and I thought the stock should have went the other way. And I said that. And all of a sudden I'm sitting here short on a trade. I'll learn something every single day, every single time I trade. And there's really no quick way to say, hey, I'm going to be a consistently profitable trader. We could only take one step forward at a time, right? And it's just kind of just learning that process, doing it over and over, finding out the successes, the failures of it, and kind of improving on that.
Trading is very, very similar to law. if you look at each trade, right, there's evidence that is going to be presented for both sides. And it's your job as a trader to really analyze that evidence and decide what is the best probability of outcome. And in addition, when you were going through your law journey, I'm sure you've lost cases. Did you go back and review those cases to see, what did you miss? What could you have done differently? How can you become a better lawyer? All of those different things. And if you approached each trade like a case with evidence, and I can learn from this, and what didn't I see this time? What did I see this well? Et cetera, I think you might see it from a different perspective, and it might become a little bit easier to digest and be a little bit more patient too.